fellow kids, and welcome to the McMuscles Midnight Massacre Chapter 2. And you may be wondering why I'm dressed like this, and
I am too.
You're dressed like a little fun. We are watching Dolls today from 1987. I've never heard of this one before. You said you have some type of memory of this.
I've never seen it, but I remember the poster.
Or the box.
The box, whatever it was. Whatever, it used to make me shit my pants as a kid because it was this doll holding her eyeballs like this, and if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you had told me about this.
I tried to describe it. You're like, what the hell are you talking about?
I think we looked it up, and I was like, yeah, I think I do remember seeing this, because I remember seeing lots of VHS boxes back in the day at my local video store, so this is kind of like... We always try to dip into like the weird 80s like obscurities and stuff, and this kind of seems like it. Although when we started this up and I saw some names flash on the screen, and I went, wait, I know that name. Did I? And I look it up, and Dolls is brought to us by Stuart Gordon, the director, and like a Brian Yurza, whatever. It's the creative team behind H.P. Lovecraft's Reanimator. And I was like, oh, okay, well then we must be in for an okay time at least, because Reanimator
is pretty okay.
Is a dumb, fun 80s movie that doesn't take itself too seriously while simultaneously being an 80s kind of gross out thing. So I was expecting much of the same of Dolls. So what set us the stage for Dolls here, please?
Okay, so there's this creepy mansion that this old couple live in. They're like super ancient, and they're like creepy doll makers. And there's a storm, and then it's basically a bunch of strangers seeking refuge from the storm because their car gets stuck in mud.
Yeah, like unrelated groups just converge.
Yeah, well, okay, there's rich, middle-aged, bitchy lady, man who she married, and then their kid. That's the three in the car.
The husband's kid.
Yeah, it's not her kid. It's not her kid. I guess he's like her boy toy because she's the one with the money. I didn't really get the dynamics
she said she was the rich one, actually.
So, whatever. And while they're driving, they, like, splash these two punk girls who are dressed very Madonna-like, because it was 85.
Yeah. Now, they're both British.
They're British.
So they talk like this.
Yeah.
But it just so like they're in some middle America, like, town, and they just happen to find...
They're not in America in this, because the set is actually in Italy, like, as I looked that up. But it's not... They're on holiday, the Americans. They're not in America.
Yeah, but the people that own the house are American. They don't have any... Or did they have British accents?
They had accents.
What type of accents?
British.
No,
I don't know.
They were not.
It was not in the US.
I don't know what
Semantics,
it takes place.
okay. It wasn't, whatever. So there's a storm. They end up kind of breaking into this house because, like, rich people are entitled to everything, obviously. So, you know, they got that fur coat real wet.
That's why we gotta eat them.
Yeah. So they break in, and then somehow this old couple is like, oh, cool, you broke in. But they saw the kid, and they're like, oh, the kid's wet and hungry. Let's make you some weird soup.
So they become really nice and understanding.
Yeah. And then burst into two punks with, what's his name? Fake Sean Astin? Like, not Sean Astin, but like Sean Astin.
I know this actor. I don't remember his name.
He's like a character actor from the 80s. He's in a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but fake Sean Astin.
At first glance, you're like, is it? Then you're like, wait, no, it's not.
No.
But then he's like, I picked up
He would still be at Goonies age at that point.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, he's like, I picked up these hitchhikers. I just brought them in. And the way they phrased it seemed like he might have known this old couple, but he didn't. But he picked them up because it was raining and they're punks and they're girls. Like, I don't know. Whatever. But they're just, like, really not fun girls. They were really mean. And,
yeah.
So that's the setting. And then there's dolls. Like,
yeah. When the old people are like showing them around, it's like every single place has dolls, and they hint little drops.
No one wants dolls anymore.
They drop little hints like, yeah, we used to make tons of dolls, and children love dolls, and children are so amazing, blah blah blah. And you're like, okay.
Now all they want to do is play the Game Boy.
Yeah.
No more dolls. The Power Glove. It's all about that. They're just like, oh, but she's like, no, but I love dolls. So they're like, we're gonna give you this doll. Her name is Judy, and they give her a punch.
Mr. Punch.
Mr. Punch, Punch Judy, whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. A very dear friend of mine.
I like him.
Say hello to Mr. Punch.
Hello, Mr. Punch.
So they give her this horrible marionette doll, and she's like ecstatic, like she loves it. Oh yeah, because the evil bitch threw her teddy bear in the woods, like just for no reason. Like, they're walking, and the woman just takes a teddy bear and throws it.
Not for no reason. It's because she's the evil stepmom, and that's it. That's the only reason.
I guess, whatever. So the kid didn't have a doll, so they could give her a doll and like, fawn over her and whatever. So
and thus what kind of ensues is anyone that seems to be kind of mean that's staying at the house will get their just desserts from the dolls.
From the dolls.
I hate this child actress so much.
She's no Punky Brewster.
She's no nobody is who she is.
Yeah.
Like
she's no Jacob Tremblay.
So let's just go straight into it.
Yeah. Are you starting with dislikes?
I'm sorry with dislikes.
Oh shit, bitch.
Because I hated this. Like I don't even get it. I don't even get it. Like who looked at this child actor and said, "You're the one. Get in our movie." Like
there was nepotism. I think the wife in the movie is actually like the guy. The reanimator guy, I think that's his wife.
Okay, I'll
whatever.
accept that.
Maybe it's one of their like little nieces or nephews,
Maybe
nieces or part of the family, like you know what I mean.
But it would actually damage the film. It was so bad. It was so bad. Like, you live and die by your child actors if you have a movie that's centered around them. So if she was just a bit character, yeah, fine, whatever.
Sure.
But, like, the movie's revolving around her, or at least her movements or whatever. She's like, oh, I'm seeing this. Oh, there's like, I don't believe you, kid. So she's got to talk a lot, and she should talk very zero, I think.
Okay. She does have to talk a lot.
Another thing with the acting is that fake Sean Astin, at first he's not too bad. You know, it's an 80s movie. Everyone's kind of, you know, overacting a bit. Everyone's kind of having a crack. But he gets so ridiculous in the later part of the film where I'm just like, I don't even know what you're doing anymore. Is this some sort of performance art piece?
The start he's okay, but yeah, he gets real goofy real quick.
There's just wild swings in his tone and his voice, and he's just like, oh geez, sorry sir, and I'm just like, whoa.
Maybe because in the beginning of the movie he's playing against everyone, and then progressively throughout the movie he's playing against the horrible child actress, so they're out bad acting each other.
I'm actually thinking of a scene where he's talking to her dad later on. And like the climax, I guess, of the movie, he's talking to the dad, and he's just like, "Oh," like he's just bumbling. Like, people are dying in the fucking house, dude. So
I guess.
that's like for acting. That's it. Everyone else is kind of fine or whatever. It's about what you expect.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we liked is that the old couple had this like creepy '80s acting, but it was good. It was
the old couple was good actually.
They were pretty good.
They were not like. Obviously
they weren't
evil.
in a lot of scenes though too. Like they were really like let the dolls have the spotlight.
Yeah, because they were the spotlight.
They were the spotlight, which is like there's a this like the animatronics of this was so good for the time. I thought a lot of the shots.
That it makes everything else kind of not as good.
Because listen, let's be real. I love Willow, but that was some fucking hot garbage. Okay, a lot of those scenes were real bad.
Yeah.
Okay, with like the little guys and the little whatever. It was not good. We all like have these rose-colored glasses. Oh, Willow, we think about Willow, but like, no. These they were good. Some better than others. Like it wasn't all like hundreds, tens across the board.
Not every shot was amazing.
Not every shot was amazing, but for the most part, it was really good. What I didn't like was how they never explained how some dolls. Like how they were alive, I had to like look it up.
There's a whole bunch of different species of dolls, and the movie is just kind of like,
It never really sits down and explains like, is it witchcraft? Why do some dolls have like gross mummy faces under the porcelain? Why are some actually just dolls? Why are some skeletons? And it's all like there's different tiers of dolls. Some of them are just horrible people that they transform into dolls through witchcraft.
It's like another movie like Critters. They vary. The Critters are like Gremlins, where they just very basically say, okay, here are some rules, and then they don't over-explain it, but they give you enough to be like, all right, this is what you can expect from these creatures, and the dolls is just all over the place. It wasn't that concerned with talking about their origins. I mean,
the one thing they make clear to us is that, you know, the dolls favor children and they can communicate with the kid, which is the girl. And the thing is, bumbling Sean Astin...
communication with this girl, great.
No, but he was a kid at heart because he loved dolls growing up, and he was always believed that dolls would, like, come awake at night because his dad told him this, which kind of messed with his mind, because he kept trying to catch them.
His dad worked for Pixar, and he's like, one day I'm going to make a script about this, son.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
It's
and then
exactly what they say.
He would leave cookies out for them, and then they got rats, so he started leaving imaginary cookies. Anyway, so he's ready to believe that dolls can be real.
Yeah.
So it helps him in a moment of they're like, okay, like he's cool. He's like a childlike wonder or whatever, so maybe we don't kill him, but everyone else, like, fuck them, because they're horrible.
That'll actually lead into, like, my last little kind of beef with the movie, where it's like, I mean, it's not telling the traditional 80s thing of, like, and then there's this issue, and then we have to do this and solve this to, like, you know, get a conclusion. The movie just, we're in the house, and then that's it. There's nothing else
Well, it's like Survive the Night.
I guess, but I was just kind of disappointed there wasn't really a thing anyone really needed to do. Like,
not be horrible.
That I guess, but I mean, again, comparing it to other 80s things of this type, like Critters and Gremlins and etc., it just kind of...
Maybe because there was no rules established, so then it's like we don't know the rules of the dolls, so therefore we don't really know what we need to do.
Yeah, I just felt the story was kind of simple after a certain point. Like, then it was just kind of watching it unfold, and you're just like, okay, well, there's nothing for me to figure out or really do here. I don't have to, like, use my head to, like, go, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. They just kind of... just goes from there. Still, I was entertained. I'm not saying it was like, you know, like a thing that wrecks the movie. The little girl does that, but like the storyline, I was just kind of like, all right, well, that's
all right.
You know,
but you can tell that they've been doing this a while because like a lot of these dolls are just like other people that didn't survive.
They have too many for them just to have made them, you know.
Well, another thing I need to mention that I really liked, I said before, is like the two like evil British girls. They were dressed like super Madonna, like peak Madonna.
It was crazy.
They literally had the boy toy belt that they later used as a weapon, which was also pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Their makeup was like wild too. Basically, what you say is basically like
the Misfits,
like
from
Jenna
Gem
from the
Holograms.
Jenna from the Misfits is basically them, but also like very Madonna. So like that, I got a kick out of personally.
Yeah, no, I did too.
But and like I said, the effects were pretty good.
Yeah, again, like for stop motion, like I've watched a lot of stop motion things, and some are good, and most are bad or like just don't hold up. But these were like, wow, that's where the money and time in the movie really went. Yeah. So yeah, those are really impressive, and I was still like, wow, someone needs to get an award for that if they didn't already. So
that's what's always great about finding an 80s movie you haven't seen, and then you go in and you're like, this could be real bad, like with effects and stuff, like even just like creatures and masks and makeup or whatever, and animatronics or whatever, and then like you see one and it's good and it like blows you away.
It does blow you away.
Who knew? You know,
like you don't go back to like 2010 and be like, oh, the special effects in Clash of the Titans remake were super old. No, it doesn't work like that. At least not for me. So when I look back at 80s things, like you just said, it's like, wow, that's really good. That's still like,
you're like
awesome.
Brava. You know, like.
Speaking of which, like when you looked up, it's like this entire movie was filmed in like Italy, I guess.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't really know at first because it takes place in this house.
Some of the sets were reused from other movies of the guy, Barbarella. I don't know. I went deep in the idea.
Yeah, a lot of
to find out like the dolls. Like I needed to know. Like,
a lot of Dino De Laurentiis things were used for this movie. So because again, they needed to save some money because they spent it all on doll effects. But you know, overall, I'd recommend Dolls. It was kind of a fun, goofy time. It's not a 80s classic, I think, by any measure.
I guess it gets overshadowed
by, you know,
everything else.
A lot bigger things. So, but still, I was, you know, I had a fun time overall. So
yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So I guess that concludes another McMuscles Midnight Massacre, and we'll be back tomorrow night. Make sure to give your Matt McMuscles dolls a little squeeze. Oh, and you get tucked in later tonight.
We're keeping him tonight. I forgot about him. I'm like, Matt, do we have a doll? I see this on the floor. I'm like,
right
we
there.
do.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.